I think we got Roy Simpson on now, Jamaica's men's national team general manager. Roy, how are you doing, Bridget?
I am good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you're a very busy man, so we're not wasting any time. How is your Sunday going?
Great. Typical Jamaican Sunday, rice and peas.
Yes, yes, yes. Run out the rice and peas and some chicken. So we're gonna talk to Roy Simpson for a little bit, and then for about 15 minutes or so, because we know he's extremely busy. And after that, we'll pick it up, resume our discussion on some of the major hits, major things that occur this week in this weekend's play. Let's talk about the Reggaeboyz, or the Jamaican men's national team. We've seen the schedule for World Cup qualifier and etc. released by CONCACAF. Roy, what is priority number one for you as general manager of this outfit on today? What do you guys are centrally focused on, priority number one?
We have been internationally inactive since March based on the pandemic, so that is a concern. Though our players have been playing in their respective leagues, that is why we are pushing to get the international friendlies against Saudi Arabia next month, because we believe that we need to get active again because we're going into a very compressed international schedule next year. A matter of fact, we have the international window in November, next March, and then, in between June, the World Cup qualifiers, we're going to be having 4 games during that period, unprecedented, never happened before. And then right after that, we go into Gold Cup. And then for each respective window following that tournament, we'll be having 2 games. So it's looking it's very hectic, the calendar. Our main priority now is try to get in these 2 international friendly games in November to bring some amount of activity back to the unit and to do a local camp for the local aggregation commencing next Monday, where we can have some selections from that to, merge with the overseas based players for that Saudi Arabian game. So it's basically trying to get some amount of organized activity, within the unit.
Yeah, yeah. So and I know in a Jamaican Gleaner article you mentioned that you were worried about preparation. So essentially this will hopefully address some of that preparation issue that you alluded to in that article.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, as it pertains to players, and have you guys have any idea of the core of players you're looking at for this team? What are the criterias for picking up players to join the outfit for the stretch? Because you have a lot of games coming on the pipe, as you said, in 2021. Do you have any official confirmation from English-based players, et cetera, et cetera?
We have a few players that we have been scouting for the last 2 years. Hopefully the documentation for them will come through, that we can get them involved, in the program. We have a wide, pool of players where we think we should be able to, how the coaches, the technical staff treat with the calendar. So you're looking at now 4 games in June. Will you use one set of players for those games? How about a different set for the Gold Cup? So we're looking at everything, because based on the condensation of the calendar, we are looking at about a pool of 50 players that we can look to. But in terms of our UK recruits, it's not many, because we believe that we have a good core players. We have some young players in Europe too, who have come up through the program, where we from June and now matriculating to seniors. So we believe that, and what we want to do too is that, though the focus is going to Qatar 2022, we see 2026 as every World Cup qualification and preparation is paramount. But we believe that if our confederation is hosting the World Cup in 2026, we should be there. So what we are looking at is that you will see a number of players with that can give you 2 cycle of World Cups. So you will see probably a core, an obvious core that will have some direction towards 2026. So a number of them will be probably introduced during this cycle, but the real deal for them is going to be 2026. So it's a mixture
Okay.
of longevity for some
Okay.
and some who will not go beyond 2022.
Okay, so you're trying to expand the pool. And one
Absolutely.
final question, because we keep having multiple questions coming in from fans. You know, a lot of
Sure.
us are keyboard coaches. We're on joining us on today's episode of Ball Chat Podcast. We have Jamaica's men's national team general manager, Mr. Roy Simpson, joining us today. One final question from me, and then Kamon and Junior may have other questions. As it pertains to players and getting into the squad, does suspension from a league or club negate or negatively affect a player from being selected?
I think you're being specific towards the Junior Fleming
Yeah, so we have
situation.
Junior Flemings
And I'm going to be upfront and with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be upfront and straight.
Okay.
You know, in the sense that we believe that Junior has done well.
Okay.
The USL in itself has awarded him the Golden Boot.
Okay.
We believe that Junior is a part of our football family.
Okay.
We do not tolerate or embrace what he's being accused of or it has been alleged that he has said.
Okay.
But we believe that based on his performances throughout the season, before the situation happened, I think it would be somewhat, unsupportive if we weren't considering to be a part of even the squad coming up for the international friend.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for clearing
Because
that
remember,
up.
it's a league suspension,
Yes.
not a confed or a FIFA suspension.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Thanks for clearing that up, because a few fans had the questions about. All right, come on, and Junior. If you have questions, shoot them. I know Roy is pushing up against the time. Go ahead, come on.
Yeah, Mr. Simpson need to go finish them rice and peas. So, Mr.
You're so formal, Mr. Simpson.
Right, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. So, my biggest problem is with the JFF and the lack of um, access to the merchandise. I have people even at my job asking me, how can we go about getting a jersey? Are you guys going to address that? Are you going to allow the fans to really be a part of the JFF or the Reggaeboyz, the Reggae girls? We can't find any jerseys out there to buy. We can't even find socks out there to buy. So when are you guys going to address that?
I understand, and I have experienced that too. We have appointed a new marketing director, Mr. Onajib Bell, where we have looked at merchandise. In a matter of fact, but that will kick in though, because what we're going to be introducing is a special edition of kits for the Gold Cup and the World Cup qualifiers. They will be marketed online. We will be doing some of the merchandising. So what we're doing, we have looked at it because we know that brand Jamaica, not just football, brand Jamaica in itself, you can monetize it, and we have been looking at it, and hopefully we'll address some of the problems. But I must make this absolutely clear. And we have looked at the contractual agreements with Umbro, and unfortunately, the merchandising wasn't handled properly. We have addressed that, but as I said, we won't be rolling out that until we're introducing the World Cup qualifiers and the Gold Cup special edition kits. But we'll be having, there is some amount of discussions with the Marley Foundation and some other sponsors that will do also a special edition supporters jersey. So we're looking at it, and we hopefully come on that we'll be able to get it afforded to all our supporters.
All right, my final question, and it's a gross, I'm upset. Every time I see the one Ben Godfrey grace the EPL pitch, I am so upset with the JFF. Because I remember Ben Godfrey a long time ago reached out to me, expressing interest in playing for Jamaica. And I passed that information on. Nobody reached out to Ben Godfrey. Now to Ben Godfrey blow, speaking of the EPL, I'm like, look at a player that we've missed out on. The same thing happened when Altamont Butler and Bibi, they were coaching the U20s. I had a list of players that I know that they could actually help the team. Reached out to them, sent the information. Nobody contacted the players or anything. And you know what happened with this stuff. So my question is this: how are you guys um looking at players overseas? How are you scouting? Remember me, they already said to me, that I know people who would be unofficial scouts that would see the players, see if they're interested, get the CV and send on to the JFF, and then you guys could make a decision. What is it that you guys now have in place so we can find that talent in West Virginia, in Maryland, in DC, in New Jersey, that player that can help the U17 and eventually, come up. So we don't have to be running down the Ravel Morrisons of the world. This is what I'm saying. So what is it now that you guys are doing to find that diamond in the rough that can actually move on to be one of the biggest things for Jamaica?
I think first of all, what you have to understand is that the JFF being a national association, we will always try to balance how we deal with talent domestically and how we deal with talent internationally. And you also will be aware of the kind of backlash that we get when our supporters locally believe that we have too many international players. But I get you though, in terms of what I would like to see from the JFF is that even if a player is not going to be selected, there must be an avenue to look at, to give that player the opportunity to come and participate in a training camp, in training sessions. Because let's face it, we can recommend a number of players, but the technical selection and the technical component of it will be left to the coaches for selection. But what I will like to see, and hopefully, because we're looking at a number of things, because what we're trying to do, as you said, come on, is that you want to engage the players from early. You want them to grow through the program. You don't want, when they are at the ending or the twilight years of their career, that is when Jamaica becomes an option. But what we really need to do at the JFF is that when recommendations are made, is that we create the opportunity for that player to come in and have the technical staff look at them. Too often, we have dropped a number of catches because we do not address or attack on these recommendations.
Yes. So and then when you fix that, can you put it out there so we know? I mean, because it should be easy for someone to say, let me fax over this. Not the fax again, but let me send it over as a PDF so Tapa can have a look at this player. Because I'm telling you, Ben Godfrey would have been a perfect fit for the national team. And after I run down Troy Deeney, who says, why would I come play for Jamaica? I've never been to Jamaica. It's what I say. So I do get it that Jamaica wants to see Jamaica represented by players who play in the RSPL. But at the same time, there has to be a balance where Jamaica don't want to get 15 love. You see what I said? So
I'm with you on that, clearly, because even if there's a preference towards domestic players, I believe that Jamaica is not just residents in Jamaica. Jamaicans are global citizens. So I believe that people in the diaspora, we must, for example, can we do a ratio? Can we say, okay, for example, 75% of the team local, 25% from the diaspora? I think we need to acknowledge and address that and appreciate that kind of input from the diaspora.
Okay, thanks. Over to you now, Junior.
Yeah, so greetings, Mr. Simpson. First of all, thank you for giving us your time and helping to give us the fans the opportunity to see and hear what's going on behind the curtains. And I just want to say, we at Ball Chat will love to help merchandise those jerseys. We're not gonna lie to you. We would love to help provide the avenue. So When the marketing guy, Mr. Bell, is ready, we are here to willing to help, just to give a helping hand wherever we can.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, but my question now is,
Sure.
Is a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
As a team manager, what is your greatest memory of the Reggaeboyz as a team manager, and also your greatest memory of the Jamaican football team, whether as a manager or just as an overall fan, just to let people know?
Okay, I share with you when we went to Nicaragua. We had lost at the National Stadium and we had to win in Nicaragua to go on into the World Cup qualifiers. When we went into Nicaragua the evening, we and the Nicaraguan team arrived at the airport, and they came. There was this bus. I don't know this autobus, like when you see the teams in Europe win Champions League.
Yeah.
And the players on the roof of it. That's what the Nicaraguan team was traveling through the city with, and they were excited, and because there's no way Jamaica, who we had beaten at the National Stadium, is going to come into Nicaragua and win. A matter of fact, when we were leaving the hotel, they blocked off the road, setting up sound system, testing, because there were going to be a massive party. When you went to the stadium, it was about, I don't remember how many minutes were left in the game, but the flags were waving, firecrackers going over, explosions, because they were celebrating and we were trailing. And I never forgot Sammy Dawkins. Dawkins was going on to the pitch, and he had lost his mother a couple of weeks before, and on his wristband, he taped his wrist. He had the initials of his mother. And on his football shoe, he had the initial of his mother. And when he went onto the pitch, never forgot, fireworks going up, flags waving, sound systems on, and that ball just came across to Simon Dawkins. And in one drive, he slotted in the back of the net. I have never seen firecracker, get unlit so quick, sound turn off, flags thrown away, But you were on the brink, on the edge, and then you came back from that. My greatest moment, and I think this is what motivates me. I believe during the 98 campaign, I believe the oneness that Jamaica had, the movement behind the team, the feeling that you got that national pride, the energy, everything was Jamaican, everybody was Jamaican, and I think for me, that is what has driven me. I remember that experience clearly. The Sunday evening, my son was about 5, and then he left me in the grandstand and went onto the pitch, and then everybody was saying, "Your 5-year-old son gonna leave you in the crowd and thing," and I said, "No, man." And a matter of fact, he brought back 10 of my friends, offering them a drive in a sedan, with 5 seats. Imagine 10 people, my son offering. But then again, though, that particular moment, and I believe that should be a consistent vibration here. And I think, though, if we can just get everybody, even this what you guys are doing is so great, because that is part of the movement. That is part of the support. These are the avenues that we're going to embrace and get people to support us. That is what I want, to just recreate and make that consistent and just give all the youth opportunities,
Love that, and we definitely will be offering our help and do our little part where necessary. And it kind of segues to this question that we got online from BM. Said,
sure.
Ask Roy about Leon Bailey's comments on team chemistry, talking about camaraderie, talking about that 98 experience, Road to France experience, and how the team was so together prior to making to the World Cup. We're not going to dig up.
No man, I'm not going to bash Leon. Yeah. Because I think Leon was on the vibes and him just talk. We spoke about it and we dealt with it. But when you looked at it, from Whitmore has taken over the squad, there is a consistent core of players who has been used right through. You might bring in players on the periphery and do some changes. But if you look at it from 2016 to now, there's an evident core of players that has been utilized by the technical staff.
See.
All right. Wrapping up with Roy Simpson, Jamaica's men's national team general manager. Roy, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it, brethren. We're gonna be in touch and definitely, ride with the Reggaeboyz as we get ready for World Cup qualifiers. Really appreciate you taking the time, family.
Well, Andy, before you run,
Yeah.
What is the latest on RSPL? Will it still be resuming in November?
It is based on the spike in our local numbers with regard to the pandemic. It's looking very, 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 very unrealistic. But everybody lives in old pastures.
But football family, you're staying safe though, right?
Absolutely. And I hope you guys are too,
Yeah, man. We have a crisis on our hands here,
But so hold a second now. So isn't that the whole headache? Because I know with all the games that will be coming up next year, remember the players, the local players have not played any games since March. So if they don't get back to earning, playing, keeping fit, then them goose are gonna cook when it comes to the next year. And for those who will be on the edge of getting just the right amount of caps to go, to play overseas, that's not really good though. I mean, is there anything put in place to help those players who are on the edge? Because I know Jamaica is going to move up in the rankings, and getting a work permit to England is going to be a little bit more realistic. Is there something in place to help those players on the edge of being able to acquire a work permit?
What we're looking at, even this is one of the routes that I think a number of our partners have been doing, because you get them into Europe, but you don't get them into England. So, for example, you send them to Belgium, you sell them to Slovenia, you sell them to Austria, you send them to Switzerland. So when you put them in the leagues there, and from there, it's a kind of if you notice, even the Leon handlers did it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead of we waiting to go direct, for example, into England, you get them probably at some lower leagues, clubs, and they build themselves up, and then now they can go direct. But it's just a unique time we're living in, and I'll leave you with this. Bob always say, you're gonna know how strong he is until the only thing you can do is be strong. And it's just a situation like this what we're going through now. You can look at a number of things what we can be doing, should be doing. But right now, COVID-19 dictates what you do and what you don't do. So we're just asking all our supporters and fans to just be patient with us. We're working behind the scenes, and we hopefully, as I said, let us just work together. We're going to have our differences and whatever, but I want everybody to understand that we acknowledge and appreciate the support that everybody has given us. And it's football, and we know you're going to criticize you. You're going to hate to love you and love to hate.
Exactly. Reggaeboyz plays Saudi Arabia November 14, and 17 in Riyadh. Officially, that is set, right? Right, correct, Roy?
100%.
100%. All right, football family, stay safe. And we're riding with the Reggaeboyz, even though it cost them some time. Go on, stay safe, family.
Hey, let me tell you something, ball chat. Guess what? Anytime your Jamaican people don't cuss you, them don't love you.
All right. Exactly. Bless up, family.
Yes, I.
All right,
All right, take care.
Yeah, man.